Alison Miller, Southwest St. Andrew, you have represented the people of that area for over 25 years, yet it remains a study in persistent poverty. Why have you been unable to really pull the people of Southwest St. Andrew out of the rut that they're in?
Well, Southwest St. Andrew is no different from all the other constituencies with inner cities. And the fact is that the allocation I receive from government, I put most of it to education, because I think education is the way by which we'll be able to break the cycle of poverty in the constituency. But I'd invite you to take a tour with me to Southwest St. Andrew and see the development taking place in the constituency now. I have been working in the area of housing, education, establishing a healthcare facility, and going through sporting programs, working with the young people, working with the community. I am working to transform the face of Southwest St. Andrew, that when I leave as Member of Parliament, when I retire as Member of Parliament, then Southwest St. Andrew, the person coming after me, will have very little to do. But I'm sure you will agree with me that I must have been doing something good. Why, for all these years, the people of Southwest St. Andrew continue to give me their wholehearted support. I love them and they love me. And I will continue to do what I have to do, because while I will continue to give support, balancing the books, I am working hard to balance people's lives, including my constituents.
Thank you again.
Keep quiet and let me talk. Keep quiet. You are no longer in that chair. Shut your mouth and let me talk. I am here representing the individuals. I am here representing the men and women of Southwest St. Andrew. And I will not be interrupted. It is nothing to make light of. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, it is nothing to make light of. There are individuals dying every day in Southwest St. Andrew. And I will have no one prevent me from making the statement I am making. Today I speak on behalf of the men and women and the children of Southwest St. Andrew. They have sent me here. 55 murders and 43 shootings. It is nothing at all for me to make light of. I am not even in a mood. I'm not even in a mood to find any joke anywhere. Mr. Speaker, when I speak to individuals who have to get up at 3 in the morning to go look water, and who have to be worried about their children being killed as they go to get water. When I talk to individuals who have to work a night shift and cannot come home because of fear. When I talk to individuals who are trembling as they talk to me. When I talk to individuals who cannot speak without crying. When I comfort those children who are looking at their mother in tears, on her knees, begging for something to do, I don't come here to play. And I don't come here to make a light of the suffering of the people of Southwest St. Andrew. And therefore, let me say this, Mr. Speaker, to the Prime Minister. For me, I am impatient. I am impatient. I want to see a holistic crime plan.
Do not disturb the member while she's speaking.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to see, I want to know that the individuals who live in Southwest St. Andrew can boast of the freedom that others speak, can boast of the development of which others speak. And I do not believe that it is enough for someone to tell me, I have not been there for 40 years. I have been there for 6 months. And I don't care who was there before, because in fact, often individuals have come into this very parliament, make light and make fun of what is happening in our constituencies, talk about who has been there and what has not been done. because they do not recognize nor acknowledge where we are coming from to where we are. And sometimes I actually wonder if as government it means therefore that you are going to victimize and discriminate against individuals just so you can make those statements in Parliament. And I believe that you should be ashamed of yourselves to come here and do that. Your colleagues need to chain you and muzzle you because you do not know what to say and where to say it.
Doctor, please address the speaker at the topic. We are not going to entertain any quarrel between members here. Mr. Wilmington, please allow the member to speak without disturbing.
I tell you, be quiet. Be quiet. And when we look at that, you can understand why I feel buffeted, why I feel as if I'm being tossed. Because I know that the individuals in the constituency, I've spoken to them, I've been there with them. I feel their pain. I feel their sorrow. I know what it means to children going to school who are unable to learn. Children, if something falls on the floor, that they run and hide because it reminds them too much of those gunshots they hear every night. And so when individuals speak, for example, about how we rate our high schools, I have one single high school, Haile Selassie High. And based on the ranking we have seen, it is ranked 151 out of 161. And I am sure that there are members who are irresponsible enough hearing that to say that the Member of Parliament has done nothing. And I say to you, how can you say the Member of Parliament has done nothing when those children leave school in fear? They are in school in fear and they go home in fear. When they go home, they have to fret because there's no street light. They cannot go out to buy $100 dinner because of fear. Because of fear. How do you expect them, therefore, to actually perform in schools? Yes, the member from Central, the member from Westmoreland has spoken glowingly about Zozo. The member from St. James, St. James, West Central. The member from St. James. I, as a member of Southwest St. Andrew, would like to be able to join you. Because the individuals I serve, the individuals I represent, have been asking for more boots on the ground. They have been asking, for example, for a joint command between South St. Andrew and Southwest St. Andrew. Because the criminals are not divided into South St. Andrew and Southwest St. Andrew. They work as one. Those who are fighting are joined, 3-4 gangs, and they are 3-4 different areas of individuals who are at war. And each side is made up of individuals who live in both constituencies. This is not about Omar Davis, who preceded Mark Goldie, nor is it about Portia Simpson Miller, who preceded me. Because if indeed we allow irresponsible members of this House to inject that into the argument, then it means that we are not really interested in collaboration. You cannot play those jokes and then expect that we are going to cooperate in that manner. Yes, we have the interest of the people at heart, but that should not, you should not take that and make advantage of it. It should not be done. And if I speak passionately, it's because I am passionate about it. I believe that Southwest St. Andrew, the St. Andrew South Division, requires attention, requires intervention. And I'm telling you, I am not one of the technical experts. But if a state of emergency comes for Southwest St. Andrew, I am going on the road. And I'm going on the road to protest because we want investment, we want intervention too.
I am working to transform the face of Southwest St. Andrew, that when I leave as Member of Parliament, when I retire as Member of Parliament, then Southwest St. Andrew, the person coming after me, will have very little to do. But I'm sure you will agree with me that I must have been doing something good. Why, for all these years, the people of Southwest St. Andrew continue to give me their wholehearted support. I love them and they love me. And I will continue to do what I have to do, because while I will continue to give support, balancing the books, I am working hard to balance people's lives, including my constituents.
Thank you again, Mrs. Simpson-Miller. Your rebuttal, Mr. Golding.
Mrs. Simpson-Miller is reported as having said recently that now that she had become Prime Minister, she would be able to allocate adequate resources to addressing the needs of her constituency. And I know, and I sympathize with her, because the constituency has been deprived of resources for many, many years. But that really can't be the answer. It can't be that a constituency can only be properly looked after if its Member of Parliament becomes Prime Minister. And that is why we are committed. We're going to set aside 2.5% of the budget. We're going to divide that equally among all 60 constituencies. It is going to amount to about $150 million a year. But if people have to be represented, and if central government is going to forget them, we have to make sure that resources are there to address their needs.
It doesn't mean that some of the work being done through the zone of special operation cannot be done otherwise. But the zone provides for a systematic way for the state agents to address the long-standing problems that have existed in many communities. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased that, notwithstanding any concern that may be raised, it is understood that this law is working in the areas where the zones have been declared. And we look forward to the time when the economy will be in a state where more resources can be made available to continue to do the work across the entire country. May it so please you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I sat here listening to the statements being made about what has been happening both in Mount Salem and in Denham Town. And as I sat there, I thought that I really needed to contribute, and I was extremely pleased to hear of the success of which we boast. And I thought that I would get up and be rational and be measured in giving my support. Unfortunately, I'm speaking after another member who can speak on behalf of her constituents and who can say that she hopes that the government, the economy, will get to a stage where other constituencies can be brought on. And so I stand to say I am not that patient. I cannot be that patient. I cannot be that patient